Yo, what's up, boy? Ghost today, and I'm giving you guys another comparison video between the NZ-41 and Bren. Now, before we get into the comparison, I want to wish you guys a happy New Year's. We finally made it to 2022. Finally got away from this 2021 year where stuff was still crazy. So hopefully in 2022 everything calms down. I know I got a few big things planned for myself in this year, and I hope you guys rock with me because I'm not stopping, bro. The grind, commit, we'll continue the grind. But anyways, man. I wanted to make this comparison video because in my last one I made Bar versus Bren, and the Bar in my opinion is one of the stronger ARs in its category. No, probably the strongest AR in its category. And the NZ-41 I would say rivals that of the Bar. And I don't know if you guys watched it, but a few days ago, I made a comparison between the NZ-41 and Bar. So I thought it was appropriate to not make one between NZ-41 and Bren. So which we'll talk about if NZ-41 is better than the Bren. You guys may have your disagreements, your own thoughts, but we're gonna talk about it in this one. But before we do, man, I want to say if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to subscribe button. We're on the road to 2K. And yeah, man. With that being said, though, enjoy the comparison. And here we have the Rico Pattern for the NZ-41, and this is hands down gotta be the worst Rico Pattern that I've ever seen in a gun in quite some time. I really can't come up with a weapon that has an even worse recoil than this. Maybe the M60 from Cold War in Warzone potentially, but this gun, man, this gun definitely takes the cake for most inaccurate weapon in the game, considering that the fire rate on this gun, base fire rate, isn't that good. And I don't know if you guys were paying attention to my class setup, but in that class setup that's not completely accurate. I forgot to change the MX silencer back to recoil booster. I wanted to see if a silencer could help me like have better accuracy, and it just turned out to be a lot weaker because I lost a bunch of fire rate, and this gun needs fire rate attachments. Like, if you want to use this gun viably, you have to have fire rate attachments, including the recoil booster, the mag, stuff like that. But this gun, man, although it's very powerful, I do consider this to be a little bit harder to control than the Bar. And I'm actually going to be mentioning the Bar line in this video. Obviously, it's not a comparison towards the Bar, but I'll make references to it because part of the comparison is that this gun is at the level of a Bar and Bren, because we concluded that in the last video, the Bar is pretty close to the Bren, like really similar, and if not the closest things to a Bren, that isn't like an LMG or anything like that. And the NZ-41, I wouldn't say it takes a close third, but it has the makings of a Bren. It has a slow fire rate, has pretty good damage. The only thing that it doesn't have is the accuracy. This gun is pretty rough, and when there was bloom in the game, oh, forget about it, bro. This gun was impossible to use. Well, not impossible, but it was pretty hard to use this gun when there was bloom. It wasn't my favorite AR at the beginning of the Warzone integration, but it just, and I left this gun for the automaton like very quickly because yeah, the recoil, the accuracy, the bloom, like everything made it really tough. And when they got rid of bloom, I think they nerfed it. I think they ended up giving more recoil to it, and I think that kind of sucks. But if this gun was to get a recoil buff, like a little bit reduced recoil, or they like shifted the recoil pattern to not be the way it is, I think this gun could be really busted. But I don't know. They're still on a holiday, right? So I don't know if they're ever gonna make a change. But I can see both getting changed for the better. Whereas the Bren, I can see that gun getting changed for the worse, because that gun is the most popular at the moment. Everyone's running it, and I think a nerf is imminent. I think literally first week back from vacation for those guys over there at Activision or Treyarch, or Sledgehammer, whoever's behind those updates. That's probably the first thing they're gonna do. Oh, that's hoping, because we already know how they do. But assuming they actually want to fix the game and not have it in this poor state, I think the Bren will be getting nerfed soon. And the NZ-41 could see a buff. I'm not saying that it will, because I don't think people really care about it. People are not really saying, oh, buff the NZ-41 or this, that, and the third. I mean, in general, the interest in this game is kind of low, That's no debate right there. But, yeah, man. NZ-41, really solid weapon. And now we're getting into the stats. Oh, it's the Bren. And here we have the Rico Pattern for the Bren. Which you guys can see is a pretty simple Rico Pattern. And if you watch my last comparison, man, you would know that this and the Bar have, I would say, somewhat similar Rico Patterns. They pretty much kind of go straight up. And out of the three weapons between the Bar and NZ-41, the Bren definitely is the easiest to control with the best accuracy. And if this gun was to get a nerf, I think it wouldn't be because of damage, because the NZ-41, for the most part, has more damage than it, and the Bar like competes with that damage. And so if they have those weapons and they're like not as accurate as this weapon, I feel like this weapon is going to receive an accuracy recoil nerf. That's what I'm predicting. Obviously, they might slightly tune the damage. I feel like they want to leave it as is, because typically when they make recoil nerfs to some of these metal weapons, they still are good. I mean, it took them like 3-4 nerfs just to nerf the FAR. So, this one's probably going to take quite a bit as well. But anyways, Moving on over to the first stat, we have the fire rate. So for the NZ-41, we have a 500 RPM. Granted, that is the base RPM. That's not adding on the magazine. That's not adding on the Rico booster. So, you know, compared to the 600 RPM for the Bren, I would say they're pretty similar. Only the fact that the NZ-41 again is a little bit tougher to control than the Bren. And so yes, they might have the same fire rate, but it's all about who's gonna be able to hit shots. Because moving on over to the damage, this is where it's gonna get a lot interesting. Because believe it or not, all of these guns, the Bard, NZ-41, and Bren, they both share similar damage statistics. The NZ-41 barely edges out all the guns though, and I would say the Bren is almost essentially the weakest one, yet it's the most popular. But anyways, on the NZ-41, for 0 to 31 meters, we have 60 damage to the head, 52 to the neck, 44 to the chest, stomach, and then 42 to the extremities. Whereas the Bren has 51 damage to the head for 0 to 48 meters, 47 to the neck, 37 to the chest, 37 to the stomach, and then 34 to the extremities. So obviously in this category, the Bren is completely outpowered. And similarly to the bar, it's essentially the same stats except for the extremity damage. It actually has a lower damage in extremities against the bar, and it has a way higher neck damage, like 52 damage to the neck and 60 to the head. Like, that's a deadly combination considering that this gun does kind of go up as well. So I'll be confident to say that you probably will hit headshots, and they accumulate a lot of damage, especially if you hit them consecutively. And again, this is another weapon that if you were to hit all your headshots, it's a 5-shot weapon. The Bren, actually no, the Bren is 5-shot as well to the head. Huh. Well, I kind of just debunked my theory. I can't believe I didn't even realize that in my last video. Lol. But anyways, man, moving on over to the longer range, this is where the Bren is going to thrive. So for the NZ-41, 31 meters and above, we have 45 damage to the neck, 45 damage to the head, 39 to the neck, 33 to the chest and stomach, and then 32 to the extremities. And then for the Bren, we have 45 meters and above, we have 45 damage to the head, 42 to the neck, 33 to the chest and stomach, and 32 to extremities. Very similar to the NZ-41. Only difference here is that it's slightly more powerful in the neck area, which is kind of significant. More than anything though, the chest and stomach matters a lot though, because that's probably more than likely the most common place you're gonna hit somebody. So for them to be like really, or like the exact same, that's very significant. But like I mentioned earlier, the Bren, for the most part, is a lot better at range, especially if you use that zoom missile. Like I mentioned, I don't know what it's called. You probably can find it on YouTube, and everyone's using it. And I actually got to get on that because I feel like that sight is probably the best sight. Maybe I should use it on my other AR. But anyways, when you use that, man, it's so good at range. Like, that's the reason why I be getting beamed. Whereas the NZ-41 with the sight that I use at 2.5, and even the bar, like, at range, it's not hitting that, bro. It's not hitting. Or, I mean, it's hitting it, but, like, if I shoot 30 shots with the bar, or in this case, 40, 45, 50 with the NZ-41, like, bro, I'm only going to hit, like, maybe 10 shots, and that's being generous, man. And given the damage drop off, like, I'm not down somebody. I've had many instances where NZ-41, like, even like somewhat decently long range, like, let's say here to where I'm at this moment in the gameplay, all the way to that red building on that roof. Like, if there was someone on that roof that wasn't mounted, I'm not killing them with the NZ-41. They'll be able to have the opportunity to run away, and it's just like, man, this gun it has the potential to be good. I do think it needs some work. It's, in this point, right now, between the three, I would rank it third, below the bar, below the Bren. Although, statistically, you could say it's better than the Bren, or at the same level. No, definitely, I would say better. Even the fire rate's a lot closer than the bars was, and it's just tough because this gun, if it had more, like, recoil control and accuracy, and trust me, bro, I've tried, like, you could try to add some more accuracy attachments. Like, I would definitely recommend trying to figure something out. I don't think I have the best class by any means, but I think I have a pretty solid class, and I would definitely recommend trying to experiment with it because it has the potential. But anyways, man, that being said, I'm sorry that you have to deal with me sickness. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like, doing this video right now, it's kind of tough for me because I am dog sick. I don't know if I have no corona, but it definitely, I'm definitely sick. And making this video a little tough, especially on my chest because maybe it's a little bit difficult. But you gotta go regardless, man. Trust me, I'm okay though. So I'm not forcing myself to do this, but it's a little bit tough. Anyways, man, that being said, man, like I mentioned, I hope you guys enjoy your new year, and I wish everyone the most success. And I'm out. Peace.